Hey, yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the All Pro JAFFOs, where we bring you the highly elevated sports talk for the highly elevated sports fan. I am your host, JP,
Hey yo,
and with me, as always, the 6'10 beast from the southeast, Mr. Country K.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
And appreciate you guys for hanging out with us on this Friday evening. This episode is brought to you by Groundbreaking Enterprises, a prime real estate company ready to buy your house as is considered selling. Call Groundbreaking Enterprises at 510-646-7891 and get your free no obligation offer now. Sell your home with Groundbreaking Enterprises. Appreciate again you guys being with us on this Friday. Got a lot to talk about, especially when it comes to the NBA as well as the A7FL. Let's get right down to it. NBA talks. We'll end off on the A7FL today. But Country K, thoughts? Chris Paul going to the Warriors.
He gonna be a backup. Good veteran spot for him. Because the Suns did what was best for them. To try to get another high player in their mind. Overall, that whole 3-team trade, I still think that the Washington Wizards won the trade.
Really?
Everyone says that Boston won the trade, the big trade, like throughout all these trades. I just really went to the whole thing, you know what I mean? Because Washington's a part of the whole madness. But
Right.
yeah, so I think that Washington won the trade. People say they didn't, but I'm like, they got a lot of depth. You know what I mean? A lot of, a lot of older players that understand their role. They got a whole bunch of other stuff. Even removing Chris Paul and sending him out here, that's fine for Chris Paul. It helps him with his psyche. You don't have to have everything on him. Like I was saying, when we talked about it, I'm like, everything was always on Chris Paul and his body breakdown. You see what I'm saying? That's kind of what the fuck it was. And throughout age and time, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what fucked him. But as far as this right here, he going to have a lot of youth, a lot of shit like that. To get to your Draymond point, I think Draymond did that shit to be able to give space for people so they can get better players. Then he'll re-sign to a lower deal, something team friendly with a shitload of years.
I was kind of thinking the same thing. I don't really see Draymond leaving.
Yeah, I said that shit almost 10 years ago. This man can't do shit for no other team, and that's when they were good.
I mean, if it happens, it happens. But
Yeah.
I don't. I don't see Draymond doing it.
Nah.
Huh. What? What happened?
Call.
Oh. But I mean, since we've had that conversation as well when it came to like Damian Lillard going to Miami and stuff, you had said that Dame would be a perfect fit. Now at this point, the talks for Damian Lillard going to Miami are getting louder and louder as the days go by. And I mean, if it happens, I mean, I'm sure you're going to be ecstatic about it.
Yeah.
But even with Dame, do you need another piece?
Well, all right, so if we get Dame, that'd be amazing. It's just more the fact of, well, what are we losing? Because they keep saying Tyler Hero and shit like.
I was gonna say I do feel like Tyler Hero might be the move that they make to send him out to minimize what they would have to give up. So, like, for instance, if they gave up Tyler Hero, they'd probably give up like Tyler Hero plus 1 or 2 picks, maybe one other player. But if you don't do Tyler Hero, you're actually going to have to probably give up a slew of role players.
No, I don't think that's the case. I mean, everyone's saying that, but I don't like. No one's making it make sense as far as explaining because people keep weighing Dame so heavy. Yes, Dame is amazing. Dame is nice, but Dame is also 34. Tyler Hero's in his 20s and he's sixth man of the year right now.
So then let me ask you this. If it came down to either getting Dame Lillard and trading away Tyler Hero or keeping Tyler Hero and missing out on Dame Lillard, which one would you choose?
I'm not gonna answer that question like that because because you're going off talent. Dame in the league so much longer than Tyler.
No. I asked because, like you said, Dame being 34, Tyler Hero being a lot younger.
Right.
Me personally, I would look at Tyler Hero as one of those foundational pieces of your team. You have Jimmy Butler, you have Tyler Hero, you have Bam, and that's the top three that are popping into my head right now.
Jimmy, Tyler Hero, Bam, and we got Caleb Martin right now. And
so it's like
I said, we do got a bunch of role players, but again, I would rather trade up role players and get picks and get Dame and Tyler because you know what I mean.
So what would you give up? What would you give up for Dame in order to get?
It ain't gonna make sense.
Okay. What would you give up for Dame in order to keep Tyler Hero?
I mean, I would sign and trade Maxi Strus and Victor Oladipo. Those are I'll trade probably a first because you know what I mean, a first, maybe two.
You don't think you'd have to add Duncan Robinson into that mix?
Mm-mm.
Because I feel like you're quietly trying to not give up Duncan Robinson either.
No, I mean Duncan Robinson, he's a shooter, but he don't really have much value after that.
I mean, he's a role player who specializes in shooting. A lot of teams need that.
A lot of teams that's able to mask him defensively that's not super young. Portland right now is super young. You don't have the defensive pieces to be able to mask him
like get away with that.
Yeah, that's what Miami does. We mask him with a whole bunch of defensive guys behind him. Like the other four guys got both their two-way players majority of the time. When Duncan's
so then what would be a team that's good defensively that could use Duncan Robinson's talents? The reason why I asked this is because
there's your answer.
Well, I'm just saying, like the reason why I ask is because 3-team, 4-team trades and stuff like that. That's a possibility in the NBA. So that's what I'm saying. Like to sweeten it or kind of add another team into the deal to kind of make sure that you get Dame. What team would you want to bring in that would probably fit that mold? Because I honestly, bro, I'm if you don't, I'll be surprised and actually somewhat happy for you because you guys got away with it. But for some reason, in my head, in order to get Dame Lillard, you're gonna have to get rid of either Duncan Robinson or Tyler Hero. One of those two you're giving up.
Why? Why do you feel that?
It just the value of both the players and how Portland would definitely perceive it. They're gonna ask for picks and stuff like that too.
So think about
but if it's Portland, but if you're asking another team to kind of come in for it and give maybe something that'll sweeten that deal as well, I feel like Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero, with the value that they bring coming off the bench and being young players, you'll get more value out of them than you will the other players. That's just how I could be wrong. It's your team. You tell me how you see it. You're still on mute if you're talking.
No, I wasn't talking. I was trying to give instructions because I'm grilling right now at the same time. And You know what I mean? Trying to give instructions to my homegirl so she can do the shit I'm supposed to be doing right now because I'm here talking with you. But to answer your question, so sorry to answer your question. I feel like if we did all of that, because you really got to think about it like this: get a Tyler Hero, 2 first-round picks, and another guy to get Dame to get one guy. That's an Anthony Davis type trade. Anthony Davis in his late 20s. Dame's in his mid 30s. By the time the season starts, Buddy probably 35.
You think you'd have to give up 2 first rounders?
I think we'd give up 2 first rounders if we give him a sign and trade for Maxey, or we did Maxey and Oladipo and give him a first to get, you know what I'm saying? Because Victor Oladipo could play that role.
Yeah, but if you're the Heat, I guess, is it because you have a young, pretty good core that you don't really mind giving up the first 2 rounds?
No, it's because if you think about it, we get Dame, one, the whole dynamic going to switch. So we're going to be super fucking good. You get what I'm saying? So that first year, our first round pick going to be super fucking low. It's going to be in his 20s or 30s. You get what I'm saying? So then if you fucking go to the second year, if we got Dame both years, Dame would be out of the league. If, like, just say hypothetically, Miami wins the ring, right, next year with Damian Lillard. And we still got Jimmy, Tyler Hero, and Bam, right? We win the ring with that squad. Oh, and Duncan Robinson as well. We win the ring with that squad. And then we fucking go to the next season. Dame's going to be an older player. We're going to probably Gabe Vincent to be emerging because he'll actually learn from a guy that can go get 60 any fucking night. And then Dame will probably be the starter that last year, the second year. It'd be like Tom Brady, 2 years, and then Dame will probably be out of the door.
But then why wouldn't you feel comfortable giving up Duncan Robinson and that type of deal? Because if you're getting Dame Lillard, you're not necessarily losing the shooting aspect. Dame Lillard is just as good as Duncan Robinson at shooting the 3, if not better, in my opinion.
Yeah, Dame, I would say.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you give up
shooter.
Duncan Robinson, you're not really losing anything other than a good bench player.
I got that, but Dame also drives and kicks as well, and we need shooters to do that. So if we lose 2 of our fucking shooters, Dame driving, he ain't gonna be able to shoot the 3 and drive at the same time. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be throwing that bitch to himself.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So the driving kick got to be to somebody. Granted, it could be to Caleb Martin. You get what I'm saying? It could be to all of these guys, but I don't think Caleb Martin showed us enough to be able to be like, all right, fuck it, we'll just rock with him and let Tyler Hero go. Hell no. You see what I'm saying? Like, I've literally watched Tyler Hero fucking in the NBA Finals against the fucking Los Angeles Lakers go fucking off. You get what I'm saying? In the NBA Finals as a rookie. So he's been in that environment already in the bubble. And then this year he had to literally watch his team play in the finals because he broke his hand. He's going to come back with a vengeance. That's me being a fan at that point with the vengeance part. But as far as, like I'm saying, as the team thinking about our team, I personally, like I said, I wouldn't give up one of those guys. I would try my absolute best because, again, it's Pat Riley. People got to think about that. Pat Riley ain't just doing no dumb shit. And on top of that, people also continue to say what they're saying because of the guys we had. We had so many guys that was how they put undrafted. You know what I'm saying? Which that's, again, disrespectful. But again, they making it seem like everybody's saying fuck them picks. You know what I'm saying? Like how the fucking Dolphins or the fucking Chiefs, you know what I mean? Say, well, no, I won't necessarily say the Chiefs, don't say the Dolphins. But how people are saying, that's kind of what people had a mentality of, like, fuck them picks. And I'm not with that shit.
Well, I mean, how can you not have that mentality when, again, and we talked about it before, the talent pool in the drafts and stuff like that these last, 5 to 10 years, honestly, after the first 3-5 picks, there's a big drop off. So if you know your team is going to be in the bottom half of the draft, like teams in the NBA don't value first round picks and all that kind of stuff like NFL teams and stuff like that do. The way things are handled in the NBA are very different when it comes to the draft. It's looked at very differently when it comes to the draft.
I'm well aware, but again, the norm has not root success for a lot of people. You get what I'm saying? The most of the teams that's won, i.e., the Warriors or the current champions, the Nuggets, their picks are the reason why they won.
They've done it through the draft. They've developed. Yeah.
That's the reason why they won. And anybody knows that it's the Warriors.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like you can't really just discredit that. That's why I say a lot of people go off of the norm, like fuck them picks. But that shit didn't root success for a lot of them guys. Like the last team that did fuck them picks and it worked out for them was the Lakers. And that was 2020. Before that, you can't really you know what I mean? Because the Warriors,
most of the teams, especially like you said with the Warriors and everything, everyone's like, "Oh, well, the Warriors were a super team too." Yeah, but the thing that differentiated the Warriors from everybody else was the fact that their super team was drafted and developed, not fucking bought. You know, I mean,
I couldn't
granted,
in some of
granted, when they added KD and everything like that to the mix, and their owners and GMs said, "Fuck it, we'll pay the luxury tax. We don't give a fuck as long as we're winning championships. I don't give a shit."
But
That
again,
was the mentality for the Warriors.
that wasn't a trade. He didn't have to give up picks. And
Well,
that
not what I
KD
mean.
was a free agent.
Like they brought in a free agent, a
Right,
bigger piece from the outside. That's what I mean.
right. Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just trying to just reiterate the point. So again, they didn't trade for KD. They literally got him in free agency. So it's like they got to think about people got to really understand like what's going on. Like that's why Boston, when they got Porzingis, they still got 2 first-round picks. You see what I'm saying? Like it was just like shit. You know what I mean?
Wait, they got the Celtics got 2 first rounders as well as Porzingis?
Yeah, they got one this year and one next year. And all they had to give up was Marcus Smart. And I think it was one other guy.
I didn't know it was that deep. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's why I had sent the full thing. Like
I knew Porzingis went to the I was like, damn, Porzingis to the
yeah,
Celtics. I'm like,
Gallinari, and what's my boy name? The guard got a little afro. Forgot my boy name, but they sent him and the guard to Washington. And Washington got a first-round pick this year, and all the Grizzlies got was a Marcus Smart.
Celtics won that trade. Sure.
I don't believe so.
You don't think so?
No, I still think the Washington Wizards won that trade because
They
I
got
think
Jordan Poole. That what else?
well they got Jordan Poole because of Chris Paul trade.
Chris Paul was a Washington Wizard for like a breakfast meal and then left.
I mean, if you add Jordan Poole into that mix, I definitely think Washington won that trade. I definitely think Washington won that trade if you put him in the mix because you definitely got a backup 3 or starting 3 in Gallinari.
Yeah, but I would say they won the trade if Bradley Beal was still on the team, but that's not the case.
Fuck no. They won that right now because Bradley Beal didn't have depth. It was always Bradley Beal and a bunch of bullshit. You see what I'm saying? Or Bradley Beal and Westbrook and a bunch of bullshit.
Well, okay, so then now that Bradley Beal has gone to the Suns, what do you think the Suns look like now?
Like they did last year, a team that's nice as fuck in the starting 5, but they fucking bench ain't got shit. That's exactly what the fuck they gonna look like this coming season, unless they just do some miraculous shit. Unless they owner just start fucking like fucking, I'm gonna go on my real money.
I mean, I don't know. When I saw Bradley Beal going to the Suns, I was like, oh, that might. So basically, at that point, what I thought the Suns should start doing as soon as they got Bradley Beal is looking to add defense and depth. Because you got all the offensive firepower you need with Beal, KD, and Booker. So at that point, you need to get better on the defensive side of the ball and get more into your bench, whether that be draft picks, free agents, trade, whatever it is you need to do. But that should be the sole effort of what the Suns should be doing right now. If they want to have a chance, because we've already seen you can't just be an offensive juggernaut to win. You have to have defense too. Look at the Kings. They had um the highest average amongst any team in NBA history on the offensive side of the ball. But defensively and rebounding and everything else like that, they couldn't handle it. So you end up losing, especially in a 7-game series. Offense will only take you so far. You have to play defense. Because nobody is 100% from the field. Nobody. You're gonna miss shots. So you need to have the defense to be able to kind of make sure the other team misses too. So with the Suns, defense is a big thing. I thought Porzingis to the Celtics was good, and they get 2 first-rounders. I mean, when you talk about future look, that's not bad. They're trying to. It's definitely showing, especially since they got rid of Smart, that they're building the team one around Jason Tatum. He's their franchise, and Porzingis hopefully can. I mean, he was in Washington, right? That's where they just got him from.
Yeah, he was in the Wizards, but he just like, bro, Kristaps, to be real with it, Kristaps ain't been playing up to par, bro. He really had.
I was just about to say he hasn't been that great. Like when he was with the Knicks, it was like holy shit.
Yeah,
And then when Dallas made the trade to go get him to team up with Luka, everyone was talking about, oh shit, this could be Steve Nash and fucking Dirk Nowitzki 2.0 style of stuff. And then he didn't pan out in Dallas. He went to Washington, and
he was just getting over an injury when he went to Dallas because he fucked himself up when he was in New York. That's when what really happened. He got hurt in New York, and he been trying to get over an injury.
So this may be a chance to revitalize their career and be exactly what everyone initially thought he was going to be.
I didn't see the Wizards this year, so I didn't. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really tell you how he played, but they said he played well this year.
And I think with the Celtics, with what they have, he could be a good fit. I don't know how good. I just know he could be good. And hopefully, he's over the injury bug and everything else like that. And he, because I'm not going to lie, Porzingis was actually kind of fun to watch when he was in New York. That dude was fucking balling out. But I mean, we'll see what he does with the Leprechauns in Boston. Marcus Smart to Memphis. How do you feel about that one?
I mean, they really ain't gonna do much. They're gonna be better as a team. They're gonna take a step forward, but they ain't gonna really do much.
That's an upgrade from Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks played the 3 and the 4 though. Marcus Smart a 1 and a 2. So I mean, not really.
Marcus Smart's a much better defensive player though. He can cover more ground. He could guard a 3 and a 4.
Yeah.
Were you shocked at all at Middleton declining the player option with the Bucks?
He could be doing the same thing Draymond doing.
Declining it, trying to get the pieces around, and then signing a team-friendly deal?
Yeah, he probably really testing his free agency market, but he really want to be in Milwaukee, like seeing who really wants me, what's my real value. But for real, I want to be in Milwaukee.
Could be. I don't know. If he left, I feel like that would be a blow.
Yeah, it'd be over with.
Like at that point, I think if Middleton left, it'd be only a matter of time before Giannis leaves.
Well, nah, Middleton leave. They might well blow it up and try to keep Giannis and get more pieces around Giannis so he won't leave. But if they don't do anything, they better do something. But you're still kind of early, so we'll see what happens. But
And ladies and gentlemen, you guys are listening to the All Pro. For those who are watching us live on YouTube, on Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch, appreciate you guys. And those listening on Spotify, the All Pro JAFFOs, highly elevated sports talk for the highly elevated sports fan, talking about the NBA right now and everything that's been going on. Victor Wembanyama going to the Spurs. Now, part of me reading everything, so everybody's making the comparison of them drafting like a David Robinson and a Tim Duncan. But then I look at film. The way they talk about him, saying, the generational talent and everything else like that. There's something that throws me off with agreeing with that. And I don't know what it is. From what I've seen, I'm trying to figure out what everybody means by generational talent. Like what are we classifying as generational talent? Because when you talk about size, he's not very big. He's like another Chet Holmgren. He's really tall, but he's lanky as fuck. So he's not going to be like dominating anybody like down in the post or that like it just he's going to have to rely more on finesse moves rather than actually backing people down. But have you seen anything about him that would indicate the hype is what it should be? Because people are talking about San Antonio, rising up from the ashes again, with this pick. Have you seen anything that makes you agree, or have you seen anything that makes you disagree? Because I don't know what it is, man, but there's something about it. I don't know if I agree yet.
well, he's nice. That's first. He's nice. He's tall. He does what guards do at a very extreme height, and it doesn't look unnatural. It looks like when KD hoops, looks natural.
Mm.
But when KD hoops, you forget that KD is 7 feet tall doing that shit. So it's like what, like, you know what I mean? Like once you process what's actually going on, you know what I mean? Like it's like holy fuck, like he's, you know what I mean? Like he's doing shit.
I mean, when they talk about him, they're saying like, "Oh yeah, he's been trained by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar." I'm like, who? Kareem.
But that makes sense.
That Kareem?
That makes sense.
Six-time champ, MVP, captain.
Yeah, it
That Kareem,
makes sense.
bro. When I heard that, I was like, "Hold on, he's learning from one of the top 3 centers of all time."
Second in NBA scoring. Just passed, literally this past season.
And he did it without threes for the most part.
So
Let's not forget that. Playing a little over 20 years, no three-pointers. All of those points were from the paint. Yeah, so, and again, the 6 rings, the MVPs, what he did in college, was unheard of and everything at the time, what he did over there at UCLA. No one's ever done what he's done since. You've got that guy training you. It makes me think like, okay, with the story that goes around with it, it makes you think I mean, shit. Yeah, with the I mean, you would think with his size and ability and stuff and being trained by one of the best centers of all time, yeah, you better hope he's a generational talent. I just I don't know what it is because I have a very different perspective on what I think a center is. But then I also got to remember that the times are changing and the way the big men play the game is evolving.
Well, I feel like you're still behind if you're still changing. Times have changed multiple times since your thought process of the
Like, bro, when I think of centers, I think of guys like Shaq. I think of
that's,
the
that's
big
wrong way.
dominating forces that just get you can't stop them in the paint. Hakeem Olajuwon, all of these like badass fucking centers getting in there, getting the rebounds, dunking on dudes, just opposing their will on people. That's what I think about when I think of a center.
That center has been gone a long time. That's what I'm saying. Like that guy has been long gone, man. Long gone. They don't
It's
have it.
sad. That was a fun brand of basketball.
Well, yeah, but again, this shows this type of basketball now, they have more skill.
It is true.
So with that being said, a guy 7'5" doing things as a guard, yeah, he's a generational talent because the
Is he
generation,
7'5"?
yeah,
7'5"?
yeah. So again, he'll be with Popovich. The only thing that he would fucking need is size because he would have the understanding of the game. So that's why people say he's a generational talent. Look at where he's going with the ability he currently has, and then now have the coaching that he
With the coaching? Oh my god.
has. That's why people saying what they're saying.
I mean, I hope so, man. Like I really do. Me being a Spurs fan and everything else like that. And people be like, "What the fuck? You're a Spurs fan now?" Look, people. Okay, I am a Spurs fan, and I have been since I was a kid. I'm from around that San Antonio era. I've watched the David Robinson championships, the Duncan championship. I've seen all of that. So I grew up a Spurs fan. When I moved to the Bay Area, I kind of fell in love with the Warriors because at the time, and we'll get to the deja vu point, at the time, they were shit. They were dog shit. Nobody gave a fuck about the Warriors. Nobody wanted to play for the Warriors. They were dog shit. And then comes the '07 We Believe team. And that team made me, I'm like, okay, well, I'm on the Bay Area, so I'm gonna see, like, if I'm gonna choose a team out here. I'm still a Spurs fan, but if I'm gonna choose a team out here, I'm gonna choose the Warriors. And then down the way and stuff like that, they started getting good, winning championships. Cool. Since I moved out here to Sac now, I'm not saying I'm a diehard or anything like that whatsoever, but I like the team. I like what the Kings have done. They were another one of those lovable loser style teams. But watching this team being in the area, living out here and stuff like that, it made me, a bit of a fan of the Kings. So I guess I'm a product of my environment. Yeah, go ahead, give me the look all you want. I'm a product of my environment if I really gotta think about it. But it is what it is, and those are the teams. And I would like to see the Spurs back to because the NBA is more fun when the Spurs are good. That's what I think. Um, this might add another 10 years to Popovich's career?
That's if he only has a 10-year career. You got to remember, Tim Duncan played 20 years.
Well, I mean, at least when I say another 10 years, that means yeah, Wembanyama himself will probably play longer than that, but I mean, the age at one point will catch up to Pop.
Oh yeah, For
And
sure.
he's already got the record of the most wins and everything else like that. There's nothing, he's got the championships. He may want one or two more and stuff like that to just kind of solidify as, quote unquote, the greatest coach in NBA history. But I mean, he's going to need more than that, especially to beat somebody like Phil Jackson and, Pat Riley, the stuff that they did um, during their coaching tenures. But Pop is up there. He gets, I feel like in that 10 years, if they get one or two more championships, I think he'll be good. He'll be good to pass on the reins after that. I don't know to who, but I think at that point he'll just ride into the sunset. Um, but I felt like if the Spurs didn't get this pick, then it would have been a matter of time before Pop called it quits. I think if they didn't get Wembanyama, then within the next year or so, you would have probably seen Pop retire. But now that he's on the team, that's what I'm saying, it probably extended his career another 10 years. Just to see what he can get out of it championship wise and the opportunity to coach yet another quote unquote generational talent at the center position. Um, so yeah, man, a lot of shit's been going on in the NBA, and a lot of things are moving around, and a lot more things are going to be moving around um, up until the next part of the season. And we'll see how it goes, man. Next year's already starting to look pretty different, and it's actually kind of funny because no, they're already talking down on the Heat. So it's like, good Lord, have you guys not learned your lesson? All the shit that you guys talk about the Miami Heat, and then they go and make it to the finals. It's like, come on now. It's like let's be real. The team is actually legit. But before we get moving any further, ladies and gentlemen, we get a message out from our friends over at Raise Energy.
What's up, Jaffo Army? JP here of the All Pro Jaffos, bringing you a message from our proud partners over at Raise Energy. Raise Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high quality formula to bring the consumer a powerful yet sustained energetic experience to help us put your workouts and focus in general to the very next level. Perfect for anyone at any time. Raise Energy has become the most popular, the best rated energy drink on the market to date, with a phenomenal flavor profile that puts most of the competitors just downright to shame. Powered by the enhanced Refresh technology, Raise Energy delivers with a performance-enhancing energy drink profile that aids in the most often overlooked categories, which include targeted focus, enhanced recovery time, as glycogen becomes depleted, improve clean energy levels, boost in stamina and in hydration. Most importantly, each can of Raise has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. You should not have to drink or settle for any other energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, opt for the smart choice with the #1 fan voted energy drink on the planet with Raise Energy Drink. Use the promo code ALPHARAISE at checkout to get 15% off of your order. Demand more. Join the Raise Rebellion. Let them know the JAFFOs sent
Okay. Do the Denver Nuggets have what it takes to repeat as champions?
No.
No. Why not?
I mean, they got a good team, but everything's rotating. They barely they barely snuck out a lot of situations. Like they beat us 5-1, but those 5-1, like a lot of those games were really close. Like they blew us out what twice,
Out of those 5 games, yes.
and then we took one. Like, come on.
And then the series before that, absolutely dominating and sweeping the Lakers.
So I don't see it. Lakers was pretty much spent because they burnt all their energy just getting to the playoffs. You see what I'm saying? They had to fight. Like they bench and stuff had to fight. So all of the guys they needed to rely on, they pretty much was spent energy wise.
Say the same excuse for the Heat, the Heat, but they made it at least to the finals.
Yeah, but at the same time, again, they had, like I said, we had a lot of situations where it played out in our favor, matchup wise.
Yeah, that's true.
So when you
But
have,
you don't think that the Nuggets have what it takes to be in the fight again within the next few years?
I mean, they'll be in the fight, probably be in top in the West and stuff like that. Probably be in the West Conference Finals or again series before it, but nah, I don't see it happening.
I don't know, man. I think they might have a chance because they have a good nucleus of guys too. So I don't know, man. Nuggets can be one of those teams that could surprise a lot of people um, in the next coming years. I don't want to like talk dynasty or anything else like that, but they have a really good core of guys. So I mean, I agree with you. Getting to like the Western Conference Finals and stuff like that, but the big question is, can they sustain the success and continue winning championships? Because I mean, Joker has one, but how many more does he need to be to get in order to be in the conversation of one of the best big men of all time? Um, some people are kind of giving him the top 5 nod already. I'm not there yet, even with the championship. Um, okay, I know you're not even close to being at that point right now. Um, but I mean, again, the potential's there. Now, can they sustain it? We'll see. Kay doesn't think so. I think it's possible, but it's very hard to replicate, as we all know in sports. Um, championship success is extremely hard to maintain, even though some teams sometimes make it look like it's easy. It's not. There's a lot of hard work involved in that. So we'll see what happens with the Nuggets as the time goes on. Bronny's wearing number 6 at USC. Um, do you think um, do you think he's a one and done?
Nah, I think Bronny will try to make it a point to go finish college.
Mm, I agree with you. I think he should go through the 4 years, or at least 2 or 3 more instead of just one and done. But I think because of the pressure behind LeBron wanting to play with his son, will become too great to the point where they'll rush the decision. They'll rush to the decision. He'll be a one and done. make it to the NBA probably a little earlier than he should have. And he'll fall under the pressure of the hype of being LeBron James' son. Now, I hope that doesn't happen because I'm with you. I think he should be there, at USC for at least 3 years, honestly, at least three. Now, people may look at that as a knock on his talent and everything, but I just don't see. I mean, I'm not denying that he's a good player. I just don't. I don't know. You can correct me from if I'm wrong, but I don't see him as a one and done type of guy. Yeah, he's LeBron James' son, but I don't look at him as like a generational talent style type player. I think there are actually quite a few players that are better than he is. So I don't know when it comes to Bronny. I mean, I know LeBron's going to talk up a big game, good marketing genius. Everything that he says and does and stuff like that has a point and reasoning to it. But what do you think about Bronny?
All right, Bronny, like, I mean, Jit nice. I mean, I personally don't think he has to stay. I really don't even think he had to do the 1 year at USC, to be honest with you, because he don't have the same he loves basketball, but personally I don't know Jit, so I'm just going based off of what I see low key. I feel like he loved basketball, but don't have the same love for basketball like LeBron Senior, or the same push, because LeBron was trying to help his moms. You know what I'm saying? So his dad basically hit $1 billion with Nike with a lifetime deal. So he really don't have to. You know what I mean? He don't have to hoop. He just love basketball and good at it. So damn near looks exactly like his dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, he nice. People are putting all this pressure on him, but he played games and shit too, like professionally. So I mean, he got like other passions and shit other than just straight basketball. So when people be going on him like that, I'd be just like Jit ain't really stressing this shit. Like, people bother him probably, like, that shit probably annoying as fuck and all that shit, probably to a level I don't even understand, because he been dealing with that shit all his life. So
Oh,
so it's like,
yeah.
that's
The
probably why
amount of shit that he's probably gone through.
so yeah, he probably just, you know what I mean? That's probably what's going on with him.
I mean, to be, and I think people would kind of like, oh, you're just hating on him. I was like, I'm not hating on him. Like, but again, I could be wrong. He could be ready. He could be more than capable of, kind of filling those shoes. But those are very big shoes to fill. And again, I'm still under the impression I think Bryce is going to end up being better. If anybody's going to come close to what LeBron did, it would be Bryce. And because, I mean, I've just seen what Bryce has done. Bryce is taller than Bronny. He's still growing. Um, he Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard you. I mean, I've been saying that about Bryce gonna be better. Just, but at the same time, like, both his sons got the complete game of LeBron. Like, Bronny,
Yeah, but
LeBron's guard ability. Like, Bryce is gonna get it too and shit like that, but he gonna probably be more of a dominating post type presence, or like a 3-4, you know what I'm saying, situation. Bronny gonna be more of the guard version of LeBron. How he passes the ball and his shot now that he has, that he found later in his career. You know what I'm saying? The
yeah,
3-point shot. Like, Bronny gonna have that. the 3-point shot and the passing and the handling and the court vision.
Yeah.
Well, they both gonna probably have vision, but you know what I'm saying. So
Bryce, I think,
toughness,
because what LeBron's what 6'9".
yeah.
Bryce will end up about 6'10", I think. If not the same size, about 6'9" as LeBron. He'll be that same small forward, power forward style. And he'll be like that all around, like big man type of thing too. Except I think Bryce is probably a better scorer than Bronny too. And he's going to have the ability for the rebound game, so the triple-double numbers and stuff like that are going to be there. That's why I'm saying I think for Bronny, or not for Bronny, for Bryce, it's more likely that he gets closer to LeBron's records just based on the intangibles and everything. Because, yeah, they both have the same, like, probably the same overall skill set, being able to pass and score, you know, in defense and everything else like that. But the addition of Bryce's size is what's going to help elevate that.
So here's why I disagree with you. Bronny can score just as at the same clip. He just don't look to do that. Bronny's a pass first player. People keep expecting him to go off like all these kids go off these days, but kid's a pass first player.
So then that kind of agrees with what I'm saying. Like Bryce would be a better scorer.
No, I'm saying Bronny could score it the same way, but LeBron is a pass first player. People don't think about that because LeBron got all these damn points. LeBron is a pass first player.
Is he though?
Yes. Yes, LeBron is a pass first guy. He will tell you that shit himself.
Should he be?
What you mean?
I feel like he should be taking over more situations.
Well, I mean, people have been saying that his whole career because they've been gauging him against Michael Jordan and Kobe.
The killer instinct.
No, they just want one guy to ball hawk. That's pretty much what it is. Like they keep sitting here labeling it as killer instinct. It's like dog, like
It's like they're labeling it killer instinct. Let's call it what it is. The motherfuckers were ball hogs.
Ball hawk. Oh, but at the same time, sometimes you gotta do this shit. The thing is, LeBron expects his teammates to do their damn job, which, yeah, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? They expect them to do their job. That's why the man be passing the damn ball and shit like that. Like he has moments where he go dunk the ball or he drive and do some shit. But at the same time, he passed the ball. Man, a pass first player.
What really passed him by is the hairline. That's what really passed him by.
I mean, his hairline been gone for a long time. So, man got the plug-ins. So, you know, you got the Glade or Glade.
So, here's my question to you, okay? If your hairline started falling all the way the fuck back, would you make the effort to kind of color it in to make sure that all of that is and stuff like that good, or would you just say, fuck it, I'm taking it all out?
Say that again.
So, you got a full head of hair, right? You style it, you know, however it is you want. You grow it out, do whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
If your hairline started falling back, and remember, like the thing, saw the all patch, bald patch or whatever team, had KD and everything. So I'm saying at that point, if your hairline is falling so far back that you're pretty much bald and you just got like the size out here, do you still grow out, you know, out here and try to do something with it? Or like, you know, LeBron and you know, some dude doing the just for men shit, filling it in and all that kind of stuff? Or would you just say the hell with it? I'm just all zero all around.
I mean, personally, those are the type of things I don't personally speak on because of my current hair situation. I'm good, so I don't like to speak that into existence. So I don't know. You got to probably ask somebody else that's going through that one.
I'm saying me personally, if that happened to me, I would just go one.
Okay, well, I mean, there
I
you
would
go.
just go one all the way. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I ain't speaking that into existence.
I mean, knock on wood and everything like that, but I mean, I'm just saying because I feel like putting the just for men and like fake, it almost looks worse. It's almost like a makeshift toupee almost. It's pretty. I don't know. That's just that. I don't know. I see it, man. Uh, Before we move on to the next subject, A7FL, Kate, can you go ahead and read off our message from our friends over at Pop?
Um, all right, before Popple, the acceptable way of exchanging information was pretty much either writing it on a piece of paper or just giving someone your phone and typing in said info. Um, as curious entrepreneurs, Popple pretty much figured out a new way to bike going by, so I'm letting them go by. Papa pretty much found a way, to bring everything into this century and making it more accessible for what we got going on as today. With technology growing, business has to grow and things have to evolve. So, with the new environment, Papa pretty much has a all-in-one platform that bridges the gap between interpersonal connections and relationships that you create online. Read that in dyslexic form, but I'm not really going by the script. So yeah, guys. So a huge part of their culture at Popple is to focus on sustainable solutions that help the environment. Popple uses technology instead of wasteful paper to connect professionals and save forests around the world. Goodbye, business cards. Hello, Popple. So being the fact that Popple's a part of the PvP family, we have a promo code for you guys. You type in PvP family to get 20% off at checkout. Popple, we help professionals network better.
Okay, I gotta give it to you. Good one, sir. It's a good one. I know it was hella last minute when I sent it to you, but I'm trying to get more of these ads into this whole thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you guys have already known and kept up with us this entire time, um, the A7FL is making a shit ton of noise right now. Into the playoffs, we've got the Chaos and the Tampa Bay Nightcrawlers, essentially with a third round bye week, waiting for the champions of the Vegas division and the Northeast. So this weekend, first game at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Baltimore Watchmen versus the U, Asbury Park. Uh, we thought the biggest game of the year was the BIC versus the U. Well, the biggest game of the year now is the U versus the Watchmen. The U lost to the Watchmen for their only loss this year. But there's been that whole circle of competitiveness that's been going on in the Northeast, so that's gonna be a good one. And then after that, yeah, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the rematch and the battle of the Titans in the Vegas division. The Sick With It and the Insomniacs take on each other there in Vegas. I am stupid excited about these games this Sunday, and then after that, it would be 2 weeks from now for the conference championship games, both which we know are being held in Ohio. Um, and then after that, it would be another 2 to 3 weeks before we're down in Bullhead City, Arizona, for the A7FL championship and for that weekend. Um, so, Kay, with these games, what are you most excited for? And I know I'm asking you on air. I probably should have asked you off air, but should we even tell them what we know for sure is going to be happening that weekend?
No,
No,
no, it's surprise. Like some things have to be a surprise. So, um,
something we got to just keep a secret until the end. Okay, okay.
um, as far as the two heavy games right now this weekend, I'm pretty much ready to see. You know, um, the Patterson U versus the Baltimore Watchmen. I want to see that, and I want to see the Vegas Insomniac versus the Vegas Sick With It. I'm ready to see those two games.
It's for the Insomniacs and the Sick With It. I feel like it's going to be tough, especially for the Sick With It. Lavish is out. Unfortunately, he's recovering now from his surgery. Um, so getting thoughts and everything out to him. Hope for a speedy recovery. The Insomniacs are looking, as we've talked about with Trey Robinson, they're looking to get it done by the third quarter and go home. The Watchmen and the U, I feel like, is going to be a down to the wire game, another really big down to the wire game. And to be fair, I think the U have a really good shot because I feel like their road, they've been more battle tested up until this point. That game against the BIC, another classic added to the chapter of not just the rivalry that is the U versus the BIC, but another chapter in the growth and development of the A7FL. This is another game where the U need to prove to themselves and to everybody else that their original loss to the Watchmen was a fluke. Um, but we know how the Watchmen play. We've seen how the Watchmen have played, and they are a team that is out for blood. Um, and I feel like if the Watchmen won, uh, I feel like, and I know Big Rob has said what he said and everything, but you tell me this, or again, correct me if I'm wrong. If no New Jersey team is representing in the first ever national championship for the A7FL, I feel like that's a bit of a step back and it would be a blow to the East. Now, I know, again, Big Rob
Explain
said,
that.
huh?
Explain that.
As in, there's been all of this talk of the best teams are in the East. The best teams are in the East. Nobody can compete with them and everything right now. Nobody else is ready for them or everything else like that. Well, to have all that talk and then not be represented in the championship game, that that to me is one of those, you talked a whole lot of talk, but there wasn't a whole lot of walking. And that shows what we've all talked about, especially with Big Rob. We've talked about it with Matt. We've talked about it with Corey. We've talked about it with pretty much everybody. If the East isn't careful, they're going to get caught. And it's going to be quick before they even recognize it or even know it. So by the time that they do start to get to those interconference play games, we're going to be seeing a whole lot more close games in the East getting beat. So it's one of those things, if you're going to be talking, you need to be representing inside the national championship game.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, yes, I understand what you're saying, but no, I don't really fully agree with that because, I mean, look at the position they're in right now. The only two teams that's able to beat a Jersey team right now is a Baltimore super team and a team that has an ex-NFL guy.
Yeah.
Those are the two teams they will potentially lose to if they don't make it to the final.
And
So
that's
that's kind
that's
of what
tough.
negates your point right there because they had, like, you got to think about it. The way they have it set up is only one Jersey team can go. It wouldn't
I
be
mean,
Jersey.
obviously, yes, only one Jersey team can
So
go.
my point of saying that is, it's like if they would have lost to a lesser tier team, you know what I mean? Then it's like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? They get knocked out like to a lesser team. You know what I mean? Like, say, not trying to shoot on them, but they didn't have a good record. But like, say the Orlando team, the Orange or whatever, they made it and they beat them, and they only made it because they won the most team. Like, just say the Nightcrawlers was terrible too, and it's all of the Florida teams were terrible.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And then the Orange just made it out just because they won one game and they actually had a full game. But all the other games were forfeits because teams didn't have enough guys. You know what I mean? So you haven't been proven, you haven't been tested, nor have you gone through the grind. So now you have a higher potential of getting injured. So now say they go into that game and then just beat Patterson U, then it's like, all right, cool. Like, nah, now I'm with you on your point. You get what I'm saying? But the only teams that's left got an ex-NFL guy and a super team. So, I mean, you got to look at it from that perspective. That's probably
Yeah, I mean, I'm just not one that it's kind of like, if you're going to be saying all of the stuff that you've been saying, you got to back it. You can't just be doing that and then, like, when it doesn't happen, you just start making excuses of why it didn't happen. It's like, well, no, I thought you were the best no matter what. I thought you were the top teams no matter what happened. And now we're all of a sudden going to start making excuses on why it didn't happen. I'm not really for that, to be honest with you. I understand it, especially if certain situations do take place where that argument could be made, but I don't think this is one of those cases. This is one of those cases of, you have said all year long, no matter what what Vegas, what Ohio, what anybody else does, you were, whatever team that comes out of the East is the top team, and they're going to be the toughest to beat, and they're going to be the favorites to win the entire thing. Now it's time to essentially come up with put up or shut up. And the road could have been a little bit easier had, if you think about it, the Northeast could have made it easier on themselves if the U took down Baltimore earlier on in the season, because then it would have been the U and BIC at 1 and 2 having it, and then this week we would be talking about the winner of the BIC and the U taking on, the Florida team and everything. It's a better chance. But now you're stuck in that mode of, you can be knocked out before even the conference championship game even happens. Forget not representing in the AX7FL championship. You're not even representing your own conference. So all that talk of like if they were to make it to the A7FL championship and then lose, I would be like, okay, I wouldn't think much of it. But if you didn't even make the conference championship game with all of that talk that you were talking, I'm gonna start having some second questions. I'm gonna start having some questions on whether or not you take it serious enough. How much do you look down on the other divisions, on the other teams, to where you just no matter what they do, successful, they can beat your ass in the championship game. I understand what Big Rob was saying, like, even if they get whooped, with the travel situations and everything. And then again, Derek made a very good point. If that's the case, then they have nobody to blame but themselves. And he's very right about that. He's extremely correct about that. No lies foretold there. So the excuse of, oh, we don't have, all that other kind of stuff, we had Derek on the show. He made it a point telling all of them, no matter who, they told all of the sick-witted, all the insomniacs, anyone that they had within the top 4 getting there to take or ask for that time off ahead of time so that they didn't have the problems, because obviously we know Derek is taking care of the travel. He is going to make sure that every one of whoever the representatives are after this Insomniacs and Sick game is going to end up in Ohio so that they have the best chance to represent an A7FL championship. That's the sign of a good, like, who's looking at it ahead of time and trying to get it down. Because you can always go back to, if you don't make it, you can always go back to your employer and say, hey, I don't need the time off after all, if that's what you want to do. Or you could still take the time off and go to the championship and actually support the whole fucking league, like I've been saying everyone should probably be doing because of the gravity of the situation. Um, but again, I'm kind of with Derek on this of, the excuses. I'm not for the excuses. If you've been talking the talk all year fucking long, saying what Vegas has been doing with the fall brawl, who cares about the fall brawl and everything else like that? Because we've already talked to Derek. Yeah, they were making fun of the fall brawl, but that was something essential to Vegas's growth as a division. And that fall brawl, whether the East wants to see it or not, could be the reason why Vegas ends up pulling it off if they do. Because, like Derek said, that brought the camaraderie, that brought, the whole culture of the division to a front. That helped boost. So that's what, and, it just, I'm not really here. If they're not worried about it because, they're, oh, well, these are the circumstances, that's why we're not worried. You can go with it all you want. That's fine. But the fact of the matter is, you talked all that shit and you couldn't live up to what you talked. You couldn't even get to one of the minimal points, the conference championship games, of what you talked. So it's kind of like the U is defending the East word at this point. It's all been laid back talk, but honestly, if the East is not being represented, they need to start worrying. They really do, because you can throw out all the excuses that you want to throw out. The fact of the matter is, if you don't pull it out, the East, as much shit as they're talking, will not be featured in the first ever national championship game for the East A7FL in its history. And you want to talk about the creators of the game, the creators of the sport, all that kind of stuff, and you're not represented in the first ever, that's a blow. That's a blow. I look at that as that's a blow to the ego and to the word, because at that point, everyone else is going to look at that going, oh yeah, they're not as immortal as we thought they were. We put them on the pedestal for far too long. It's time for us to actually step up and handle it. And that's like those old sayings: as soon as you can make a god bleed, you bring hope to everybody else. And if that's what happens, the East is in trouble. That's all I'm saying. The East is in trouble if they fuck around and let a Vegas team or Ohio team or a Florida team or a Baltimore team or whatever take them out and claim the throne. That's a blow to them, I think. Any thoughts counteracting that, or are we kind of in agreement on the thought process there?
No, I don't agree with you, but I mean,
No, you're full of shit. Yeah, yeah,
no,
yeah. You're full of it.
I just don't agree with it. I mean, I look at it like DRC came in late in the season. He wasn't there from the tip.
Right.
That's a late add-on, last second add-on. It's almost like we got to make an adjustment because if we don't, we're not gonna have a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, Baltimore, most of those players already played in the A7FL anyway, so I wouldn't necessarily add Baltimore into that mix of, you know what I mean, those teams, because that's still a team that's a part of that, because Baltimore has been a part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, I mean, I don't really agree, but I don't really have a long soliloquy to just go on about it.
I mean, so like, is it not like how? I don't know how you don't think it would be. Like, I don't know how it's not one of those, like for me, if I look, being who I am and knowing who I was when I was on the field, if I was hearing that the opposing team that we were going to be playing has been talking all the shit in the world, all big and bad about how they're the best team, nobody can stick with them, nobody can beat them, and everything else like that, and we go out there and we beat their ass, I'm sorry, there's no excuse that they can throw. I'm still going to be like, no, we fucked you up. Next time, shut your mouth and be about the action instead of talking. And we've talked about it. Even Big Rob has said that the football gods always come back. Football gods don't fucking like ugly. They don't. They will make you suffer if you fuck around. And I think that's what's happening right now. The East is fucking around with it, not taking it as seriously as they should, and they may find out. Again, I wouldn't give them no type of excuse. No, and I know you wouldn't either. I know you would be in the face of but like if you were beating the shit out of any team and you knew that they were talking all the SK, you cannot tell me you wouldn't be talking to them.
I mean, talk a part of football. I talk shit if I'm losing. So that's what I mean. Talk is a part of football. Everybody gonna talk shit. They're gonna talk like I mean, if you look at it like this, like the new guy at work, nobody wants to train.
Go on.
These are new teams, new divisions, new shit like that. They're trying to get into they're in it, but I'm saying as far as become a household name in the A7FL and shit like that. They're not gonna take them serious to actually do something. So,
but when they do, is it not like a surprise, or it's kind of like oh, hey, good job, you finally caught up?
I mean, yeah, if they actually win, yeah, if the refs win the game for them, nobody's gonna respect that.
That's true.
So,
but I don't think the A7FL has had that problem though.
I mean,
I think the refs in the A7FL are
pretty
good on the let them play.
BIC Patterson game came down to a judgment call.
That was a close one, though. That's not something like that was an obvious call, though.
Yeah, it could be close or whatever, but it still came down to a judgment call.
Yeah, but making a good what they did was a good judgment call, I think. It
I'm
wasn't one of those that, oh, like, it was an obvious thing that the ref fucked up.
no,
Like,
I'm
if it
not
was
saying that it's
obvious that Moon didn't make it and they still gave it to him, then yeah, we'd be like, "Oh, the refs took their
no,
put
I'm
the
not
game in
saying
their
that
hands." But I
I'm
don't
not
think
saying
that's the
that
case
should
with
be a
them.
bad thing. I'm saying if you lead the game into the ref's hands, it's gonna be always a sliver of doubt. If you beat somebody ass, ain't nobody gonna be saying shit. Like,
Well,
they-
then again, like every head coach has ever told their team, or every smart head coach has ever told their team, do not leave it in the hands of the refs. Don't leave it in the hands of the refs because as soon as you do, that's where you can end up fucking up. But what I'm saying is, like, I don't think the A7FL refs are like, and again, I'm only seeing what I'm seeing on the field, and from what I see, there's a lot of, I mean, yeah, there's penalties and stuff like that that happen that get thrown and stuff, but it's not egregious and like game. I mean, some of it's game changing, especially if it's obvious calls. But I feel like they get a whole lot more right than they do wrong, and they let more go. That's just, I mean, from what I've seen of the reffing, I think the reffing has been pretty good.
yeah, I'm not saying that it's been bad officiating at all. I'm just saying can't lead a game in the hands of the refs because there's gonna always be some doubt. It's always gonna be something. Somebody gonna have something to say. So it's always gonna be shit talking. So that I really don't feel like that's for me a barometer would be like something like that because like I said, all the other leagues are new, which it makes sense why Derek's making this push to make sure everybody gets to Ohio because the only thing you really got to stress is Ohio. Everybody could drive their goddamn self to fucking Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah, he only got to make one contribution, and then after that, everybody's pretty much on their own after that because he's trying to make a statement for his league's growth or his division's growth. You get what I'm
You
saying?
should.
So the people that are watching on TV or watch it on YouTube or watch it wherever overseas or whatever the fuck, say this right. You get a guy from one of those teams that have a EFL team, right? He's over there in his country. He's watching the A7FL on the zone. This guy gets a job and he end up moving to Vegas. And
Damn.
because of what Derek did and showing the growth in his league, that guy understands where he can play ball at least in that capacity. And that would, you know what I mean? That gives that someone, a good look on that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, it's just a whole bunch of different things. I don't want to give the man whole sauce away. That's kind of why I started chopping it up on the back end.
I mean, I just look at because, like, again, Derek it's obvious that he's 100% all in on this, and he's got something to prove. He wants to prove that they belong, and he even said on the show the last time that we had him on that even they surprised him. At first, he thought that it wasn't. He hated the idea to. Now that he looks at it, even he was proven wrong. So when I hear Derek saying that, I trust that because he was very, much the realistic side, especially being in Vegas, saying, the needs and everything that needed to go down for them to be successful. But they've exceeded expectations. And he now, like, there is a real chance that Vegas could be hoisting the trophy at the end of the year, ahead of the expectations of everybody. And, and I think Big Rob has kind of changed his tune a little bit. I mean, I know he's a big backer of the East. He's a big backer of, all of them. I get that. I understand that. There's a loyalty there to it. But even he's seen with with the Force, with the Cichlid, with the Insomniacs, the games that he's seen and that he's called, he's been impressed. He likes what he sees. So it's one of those going, all right, and again, this is one of those things that's going to bring it all bring it all to a head. And I think it would be good for the league, honestly, a biggest one, because then it'd bring more divisions going like, hey, see, we can be a startup league and be successful too. Instead of looking at it going like, oh, for the next 5 to 10 years, the East is going to be fucking taking home the championship while everybody's learning.
I'm confused because I could have sworn you just said if an East team don't win, the league goes in reverse. I could have sworn you said that.
What do you mean it goes in reverse?
As far as it's taking a step back. Isn't that what your point was? That if a East team don't win, that the league takes a step back?
No, 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 no. The East, like themselves as a division and stuff like that, kind of takes a
Oh,
step
okay.
back.
All right, cool. Because I could have sworn you said league several times.
No, 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 no. I meant for the East, for that division.
Gotcha.
They
All right.
they take a step back if all that goes down.
Like, am I tripping over here? That's why I had to ask. Thought I
No,
was
no.
losing it.
I mean, I'm talking about the East, saying like the East would take a step back, and
Right.
they would have to be like, well, fuck, we're gonna need to, step it up. Um, but it's going to be one of those things that they need to, and I think the U is more than capable of beating the Watchmen. I think they're capable of beating Florida. They're a very good, sound team. But anything can happen. Anything can happen in the football world. That's why we love the sport so much. If you guys want to catch all of the A7FL action, you guys can go to a7fl.tv or go to a7fl.com. If you want tickets to the A7FL Championship, you go to a7fl.com/championship and use the code A7FL early to get 20% off of your tickets. And that goes towards everything for the weekend and stuff as well. So you guys want to check out the esports tournaments, the combine, if you want to participate in the combine, which we will be doing. We've said that plenty of times in the show. We will be participating in that combine. So if you're a player, an athlete out there that wants to showcase your skills, by all means, go to a7fl.com and register for that combine to get yourself looked at for the coaches and scouts and stuff that are going to be there. It is confirmed that a lot of scouts from teams in all aspects of professional football. We're talking, XFL, NFL, uh, USFL, Canadian League. Like, there's going to be scouts there. So if you want to go out there and showcase your talent, go register. It's I think it's a 65 or $75. I think it's a $65 entry fee. For the combine, and it is
Just
for
bring $100. Just bring $100 to be safe, because then if it's 65, you got some money for food.
Here's something there. But again, if you want just tickets to be able to see all the action, again, there's going to be esports tournaments. There's a flag football championship that's going to happen that weekend. There's an indoor league football game that's going to be happening that weekend. There's so many, dude. I'm so excited for that weekend. There's so much shit that's going to be going down. That's going to be so much fun to watch. So yes, everybody get down a7fl.com/championship and use the promo code A7FL early for 20% off of your order. To watch the playoffs and everything this coming Sunday, you can watch on DAZN at a7fl.tv, or you can catch it on YouTube at A7FL. The Insomniacs versus the Sick with it, the Watchmen versus the U. The winner of the Watchmen versus the U takes on the Tampa Bay Nightcrawlers, and the winner of the Insomniacs and Sick with it go and take on the Sin City Chaos. And then obviously the winners of those two conference championship games will be in Bullhead City, Arizona, on July 23rd. So again, get your tickets now. Get to the combine if you're a player and want to get looked at. It's going to be a great weekend. You guys are definitely going to want to be there for the festivities. It is confirmed. All three of us from the All Pro JAFFOs, myself, Country K, and the greatest DJ in the entire
Applause.
world.
Applause. Hit the applause button.
What?
Hit the applause button.
Applause button?
Yeah, to announce what you're announcing right now.
Oh, I was going to do it at. Okay, I had a whole flow into this, man.
Oh, I didn't know. My bad. Hey, look, it was quiet as shit. I'm like, yo.
Okay, so okay, all three of us are going to be there. Myself, Country K, and the greatest DJ in the entire world, Mr. DJ Madsticks,
Nobody tells DJ Request what to play.
will be there that weekend. And as far as my understanding, DJ Madsticks will be in action that weekend as well. So you're definitely going to want to be there to catch all of that. It's going to be an absolute huge weekend. And you guys are not going to want to miss it. If you guys want to catch the A7FL Championship game, go ahead and do that on July 23rd if you want to be part of all the festivities. And you can go ahead and get the weekend tickets. If you want to participate in in one of the events, either the esports events, again, the combine, anything else like that, all the tournaments that are going to be going on that weekend, go and register a7fl.com /championship. We appreciate the hell out of each and every one of you guys again for hanging out with us on this lovely Friday evening. It's going to be a big weekend. You guys don't miss any of the action. We appreciate you. We got more stuff coming. Stay tuned for the rest of this week. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be dropping. For myself, JP, for the 610 Beast from the Southeast, Mr. Country Cat. We will see you guys next time.